last year. He showed him the Pope a photo of his hand. We saw it at the 9/11 memorial as well. People showing him photos of those who had died.
And he's so focused on that, on encounter, on seeing people's faces, on suffering always has a face. That has been a theme of his whole pontificate. He's all about looking at people face to face and overcoming differences by recognizing the humanity in the other.
Father, you really focus on some of the statements he made, particularly to Congress, and some of the people who he's quoted, Martin Luther King among others.
Yeah, well, he quoted Martin Luther King again today at Our Lady of Angels in East Harlem. But yesterday he mentioned 4 people, Lincoln, Martin Luther King, but also 2 who are less well known to the general public. Dorothy Day, the great social activist and pacifist here in New York, and also Thomas Merton, the great poet and monk and also a peace activist and a great friend of Dorothy Day. So these were rather radical people and in their day quite controversial. But I was very delighted that he mentioned them and talked to them because they're great heroes of mine as well. So. It was really wonderful.
It was, Bruce, I mean, almost surprising to hear him talk about Dorothy Day and Merton, because, I mean, even among some Catholics, they were sort of viewed, I don't know if on the fringe is the right word, but in their time, they were kind of looked at sideways by some.
She was quite radical at the time, and you know, she started the Catholic worker movement, but she was also the embodiment of social justice, and probably before John F. Kennedy, perhaps the most famous American Catholic of the 20th century, I would say. But to pick up on what the father said, I think what has been striking to me in the last few days, Anderson, is how well he seems to understand this country. He's never been here, and the speech to Congress resonated to me much more than the UN speech, and I think you saw that today at 9/11 at that ceremony. You and I were watching it live. It was more than moving. It was important, I think, because, you know, the interfaith movement has sputtered in part because religious leaders don't usually want to spend their precious time sharing the spotlight with other religions, and that he spent his clout, fewer than 48 hours here, sharing with other religions. That was remarkable, and a moment of coming together in a place that is still an open wound for many Americans.
And of all the places to share that message, to do it at the 9/11 memorial, I mean, there's some risk involved in that, perhaps.
It was important, though, because
you were there.
I was there, and also there was an incredible Jewish cantor with a spectacular voice.
Oh my, he was extraordinary.
That was the mourner's prayer.